Hey, are you even listening to me? I asked my husband. We were discussing our daughter Anna's future plans for her senior year of high school, but my husband, Dave, was glued to his phone. I'm talking about something important, I repeated. Shut up, he snapped. If she wants to go to college, she can pay for it herself. I'm not wasting money on a useless daughter who can't even take care of her own grandmother. What? His words hit me like a slap in the face. What did he even mean by that? I glanced at Dave's phone and saw something shocking on the screen. Dave and I had been married for 18 years. We had one daughter, Anna, who was in her second year of high school. For the most part, life at home felt calm and normal. Anna was growing into a smart and responsible young woman. Did you eat well? I asked her one evening. Yeah, she replied. Great, don't forget to clean up your plates. Okay. I brought up her exams and plans for the future, and she reassured me. I know, Mom, I'm thinking about it. Hearing that, I felt a little relieved. I wanted the best for her and knew she'd figure things out. But there was something else that lingered in my mind, my mother-in-law, Judy. I hadn't spoken to her in years, and honestly, it was for good reason. My own mother had passed away not long after Dave and I got married. At the funeral, Judy said something that left me stunned. Stop crying, you're my son's wife now, she told me, without an ounce of sympathy. And then she added, your mom probably died early because of the way she behaved in life, right? I was speechless. She even mocked my grieving mother. Dave, however, stepped in. What's wrong with you? If you're going to talk like that, leave. He was furious, and since then, I completely cut ties with Judy and the rest of his family. I hadn't seen or spoken to them since. Over the years, my anger slowly faded, but I still wondered if it was right to stay disconnected. After all, Judy was Anna's grandmother. One day, we got news that Dave's father had passed away. Despite everything, I attended the funeral with Dave. Judy looked smaller and weaker than I remembered, and she was crying a lot. For a moment, I felt sorry for her. She had lost her husband, and I could see she was grieving deeply. After the funeral, Dave stayed at his parents' house for a few days to sort out inheritance matters. When he came back home, he had a request. My mom is all alone now. She's really depressed, he said. I nodded, picturing Judy sitting in that big house by herself. I think we should move in with her, Dave continued. Please. I hesitated but eventually agreed. So, we moved into my mother-in-law Judy's house. I'm looking forward to living with you, Judy, I said, trying to be polite. She gave me a sharp look. You've never been a great wife, so you'd better work harder now to make up for it. What? I was stunned. Now go make me some tea. Can't you see how depressed I am? You should be more considerate. I couldn't believe it. I agreed to move in because I thought she was lonely, but her attitude was unbearable. To make things worse, even though Dave and I both worked, he left all the house chores to me. Is dinner ready yet? He asked one evening. I just got back from work, I replied, exhausted. You're such a bad wife, he said coldly. How can you ignore your responsibilities at home? I'm really disappointed in you. Judy constantly criticized me, but now she started targeting Anna too. Hey, go fold the laundry, she told Anna. But I'm studying right now, Anna replied. What a useless girl you are, just like your mother, Judy snapped. What? Anna was shocked. Girls should help with housework instead of wasting time studying. Huh? You're so annoying, Anna shot back. Anna, being a teenager, became more rebellious toward Judy. Studying is pointless, housework is what actually matters, Judy barked. You're freaking annoying, Anna yelled. My goodness, she's such a hopeless child, isn't she? Judy muttered. The tension between Judy and Anna kept getting worse, and I started to regret moving in. Why had I ever agreed to this? Meanwhile, Dave was being completely influenced by Judy. I'm home, Dave said one evening. Welcome home, honey, Judy greeted him sweetly. Let me take your bag and jacket. You should sit and relax. Oh, thanks, Mom, Dave said, smiling. You know, it's the wife's job to take care of her husband like this, Judy added with a fake, innocent tone. I'd love to teach Clara how to be a proper wife, but she's so lazy and doesn't take anything I say seriously. Really? Dave asked, sounding concerned. Judy even cried fake tears to make herself seem like the victim. Clara and Anna are always harassing me. Please do something about it, sweetie, she sobbed. You're disgusting, harassing my own mother, Dave yelled at me, completely ignoring what Anna and I had to say. I've never harassed her. She's the one who's always crumpling up my laundry and making my life miserable. I tried to defend myself. Judy immediately fired back. I've never done anything like that. You're the one who's always complaining and harassing me. Dave, believing Judy's lies, snapped at me. How dare you talk like that? You're such a bad wife. You never take responsibility for anything, and now you're siding against my mother? Stop butting in, Judy yelled at me. You should be grateful. It's because of me you even have the life you do. Dave began yelling at Anna and me more often, always taking Judy's side no matter what. Time passed, and Anna became a senior in high school. One evening after dinner, we were sitting in the living room, talking about her future. Anna's thinking about going to college, I told Dave. She's even narrowed it down to a few schools with the program she wants. Yeah, my teacher said this one college is a great match, Anna added. But Dave was just staring at his phone, ignoring us completely. Hey, are you even listening? I asked, annoyed. Shut up, he barked. If she wants to go to college, she can pay for it herself. I'm not wasting money on a stupid daughter who can't even take care of her grandmother. What? His words stunned me. What are you even talking about? Anna shot back. I don't have any money of my own. That's so irresponsible, Dad. Oh, you have some nerve. You just depend on me whenever you need something. You're just as thick-skinned as your mother. I wonder what kind of education she gave you. What? Anna gasped, visibly hurt. Dave was getting angrier, and before I could respond, Judy chimed in. If the mother is no good, then the daughter won't be any better. A girl like her doesn't deserve anything. That's right, Dave agreed. Why should I pay for a selfish, stupid daughter like her? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could they call Anna selfish? We had been saving for her college all along, and it wasn't like we couldn't afford it. They were just trying to hurt us. That was the last straw. If this is how it's going to be, fine, I said firmly. I'm getting a divorce. Dave laughed bitterly. Go ahead, do whatever you want. You won't be able to afford Anna's college on your own, idiot. He glared at me and continued. I don't want a useless wife who can't take care of my family, and I don't want a stupid daughter raised by someone like you. And don't think you'll get any of our savings. That money is for my family, mainly my mother. I stood my ground and looked him in the eye. Oh, I see. Well, I hope you enjoy living in a world where your arrogance is tolerated. Dave yelled at me again, but this time, I didn't flinch. Instead, I turned to Anna and said gently, don't worry about the money, Anna, just come with me. Anna, surprised by everything happening so suddenly, stayed silent. You were going to run to your father and cry to him, weren't you? Judy sneered at Anna. He must be so annoyed with you, always depending on him at your age. Then again, I guess it makes sense. He's the one who raised you to be his idiot daughter. Anna glared back at her grandmother. You get angry when someone insults your family, but you don't think twice about speaking badly about other people's families. You're such a hypocrite. Hearing that, Anna seemed to have a moment of realization. Let's go, Anna, I said firmly. Yeah, I'll follow you, Mom. With that, Anna and I left Judy's house. For the time being, we decided to stay with my parents. A few days later, I contacted a lawyer to start the divorce process. I sent a formal letter of intent to Dave. Not long after, Dave showed up at my parents' house. What are you doing here? I asked as I opened the door. I'm sorry, he blurted out. I sincerely apologize. I don't want a divorce. Please, come back home. He looked pathetic, clinging to me with a desperate expression. But I had already noticed something suspicious. Our joint savings account was rapidly decreasing. After investigating through the credit card agency, I discovered the truth. Dave had been spending money at hostess clubs. He was preparing for the divorce and, apparently, had proposed to one of the hostesses there. He had even said to her, I'm going to divorce my wife, so marry me. Huh? What are you talking about? The hostess had replied. I truly love you. I can make you happy, Dave insisted. No thanks. I'm not really looking for that, she said, turning him down. When she rejected him, Dave became relentless. He stalked her and kept harassing her, which eventually led to him being banned from the club and blocked from contacting her. Still, Dave wouldn't give up. He waited outside the club to catch her. I'm serious. Please listen to me. I have to go to work, she said coldly. Just give me 5 minutes, please. I'm in a hurry, she replied, brushing him off. When Dave's colleagues saw him loitering near the club repeatedly, word got back to his workplace. His boss called him in for questioning. I've heard about your behavior at the club, his boss said. Stalking a hostess? That's not acceptable. I'm serious about her. I'm thinking of marrying her. I really love her, Dave argued. His boss frowned. I understand you might feel strongly, but it doesn't seem like she feels the same way. Besides, I thought you had a wife and daughter. Oh, my wife and I are divorcing, Dave said dismissively. My wife and daughter are annoying. They keep bothering me about paying for college. That hostess is a much better woman than my selfish wife and daughter. What? His boss said, appalled. What kind of logic is that? As a husband, you should be supporting your wife. Did you even listen to her side of things? Dave stammered. Well, but my mother. That's the problem. You only listen to your mother. You should have been listening to your wife too. And as for your daughter, how can you ignore her future and focus on chasing another woman? That's disgraceful for a father. Shaken by his boss's stern tone, Dave could only mumble, yes, sir. As a result, Dave was demoted and given a pay cut. Meanwhile, I sent him another letter, this time demanding full custody of Anna, a fair division of property, and for the money he spent at the club to be counted as alimony. Dave tried to beg me again. I'm so sorry, I was wrong. Let's start over. Even if we don't divorce, you still have to pay back the money you wasted behind my back, I said calmly. What? He gasped, clearly caught off guard. It was obvious he didn't want to pay. He just didn't want to face the consequences of his actions. I sighed in disgust. I handled all the house chores, looked after Anna, and even cared for your mother, while you did nothing but tear us down. I'm done. I can never get back together with someone like you, I said coldly, a man who decided the future of Anna and me without even asking, who abandoned his responsibilities as a father, and chased after young, cute girls. You're nothing but a selfish coward. Dave's face twisted with shock and shame. I refused him, once and for all. From behind me, Anna stepped forward. I'm really sorry, Dave begged, noticing her. I'll be a good father to you this time, I promise. Please, let's start over. Anna crossed her arms and stared at him, her voice cutting through the silence. Do you have any idea what I've been through these past few months? If you think you can fix this with one pathetic apology, you're even stupider than I thought. Just because I'm a high schooler, you've always looked down on me. She narrowed her eyes, her voice dripping with disgust. A father who takes away his daughter's future to fund his creepy obsession with young women? You're just gross. Dave's shoulders slumped as her words hit him like a slap. For the first time, it seemed he understood how completely he had failed us both. He said nothing and walked away, his head hanging in defeat. After that, Dave spiraled into depression. The hostess he had been obsessed with rejected him yet again, disgusted by his persistence. I can't stand middle-aged men who confuse fantasy with reality, she reportedly told him before cutting all contact for good. With no one left to turn to, Dave finally paid the money I had demanded, to cover the alimony and the funds he wasted at the club. He had to dip into his inheritance from his late father, but even that wasn't enough, and the rest was arranged in monthly installments. The alimony, child support, and his reduced salary left Dave barely scraping by. His once comfortable life had become a lonely, exhausting struggle. One day, Judy came to my parents' house, uninvited and furious. You've ruined everything, she screamed at my front door. You've made my life miserable. I forgive you for all of this, so you should forgive my son and come back home. I was fed up. I stepped outside, meeting her wild eyes with calm resolve. Forgive your son? I said firmly. I'm not his wife anymore, and if you keep harassing me, I'll file a formal claim for the emotional abuse you put me through when we lived together. I've kept records of everything. Judy's face turned red with anger. How dare you talk to me like that? Dave arrived then, looking annoyed and exhausted. Mom, what are you even doing here? I'm trying to get your stubborn wife back in line, Judy shouted. She's not my wife anymore, and you're making things worse for me, Dave snapped. For the first time, he stood up to his mother. Frustrated and embarrassed, Dave decided to put Judy in a care facility. The cost of her care, combined with the alimony and child support, made his life even harder. Now, he was stuck doing all the housework himself and living a lonely, regretful life. Another tough month, he muttered to himself as he struggled to make ends meet. Meanwhile, Anna and I found peace. Life at my parents' house was calm, and Anna poured all her energy into preparing for her college entrance exams. One evening, as I placed dinner in front of her, she smiled at me. "Why don't you take a break, Mom?" "Thanks," I said, sitting down beside her. "I've been meaning to eat. It smells so good." Anna nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "You've been working so hard for me, but don't push yourself too much. I'm your daughter, after all, and since you don't have great luck with men, I'm going to become an independent woman who never has to rely on anyone else." I laughed at her teasing tone. "Oh, is that so?" "Yep," she said with a grin. "I'll make sure to build a life I can be proud of." And as I watched my daughter chase her dreams, I silently promised to always support her, no matter what. Her happiness, her future, it meant everything to me.